Each time I work with a client or read for myself, I adjust my spreads slightly to make them really fit the question. Because the spread, it's your frame. It's the frame that allows the cards to say what they really need to say. When I work with a client, I very often mind map on a piece of paper, and then I use that mind map to really design or adjust my spreads to be completely on point for that client. Well, here in the Northern Hemisphere or the south of England, it's Imbolc. It's that beautiful early February festival where the snowdrops are beautiful. The days can be wet or cold, or they can be warm. It seems changeable. And there's that real first feeling that the wheel is turning and spring is coming. For me, January is often a busy and complicated month, and this year it seemed even more busy and complicated than before. And as Imbolc happens to fall fairly close to my birthday, I'm actually taking a few days off, and I'm really going to try and rest and reset. And for me, that's what Imbolc is all about. It is a perfect time to rest, reset, and set the stage, if you like, for the coming year. A really interesting way to think about Imbolc is if you're a gardener, maybe you've got seed catalogues coming through. If you love holidays, maybe you're starting to look at dates and book something in. It's the perfect time of year to really be thinking about how you want the year to be. Because in January, most people are either really busy or recovering from Christmas, or just kind of trying to catch breath, as it were. And so I was reflecting on what would be a great tarot spread for me to use for Imbolc, and I thought I would share it here and see if it would help. So it's really simple, because I think sometimes the simpler the better. I rarely do a one card spread because I think it's the combination between the cards that really allows the nuances to come through. So when I was playing around with what did I really need to know, I came up with this concept. I want one card to represent the seed for me. So I'm reading for myself, but encouraging you, if you've got cards, to give it a go and do it for yourself. What is the seed for this coming year? Now, I don't read reversed cards. So when I look at a spread, there are going to be some cards that I will definitely look for the positive meaning in. And in this case, it's most definitely these three I should be reading from a positive perspective. And there are going to be some points in the spread where I'm going to be looking for the negative perspective. So the seed I should be reading as a positive. One card to represent the hope, if you like, for this year. But to bring something in, we need to let go of something, because the whole of the universe is based on balance. So I will then draw a card to represent something that is negative in my life, something that it's time to let go of. Card 3 is something that I need to root, invest, anchor. It's going to be something already in my life that perhaps I need to put more time and attention to. And the fourth card is, in effect, we could argue this is past, present, future. This is what can I expect to grow or manifest this year if I work with these three cards. And then, because I always look at the card at the bottom of the pack, and remember, before you start shuffling, you can decide what the card at the bottom of the pack means. It's an extra card in your whole spread. So I've decided that in this spread, the card at the bottom of the pack is something I need to know. And let's walk it through. Oh, now I've had a jumper, as you like. I don't get many jumpers. Every now and again, I will get one that flies out. So I've got the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands can mean not working too hard. That's been a constant juggle for me. What I tend to do for jumpers is I put them back. But I know that the 10 of Wands needed to be read, so I have noted it in my mind. If it comes back, then it's really important and I will pay super attention to it. But even as I read the spread, I will remember that the Ten of Wands was a part of this spread. Now, I'm not reading for a particular area of my life. I'm reading for all of my life. You could, of course, choose to repeat this, maybe for your personal life, your career, you can look at different parts of your life if you like. But I just want to look at me on this one. I like to cut the deck. For me, cutting the deck is a moment of clear focus. And then let's have a look. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit apprehensive. I always am when I read the cards for myself. When someone else reads the cards, usually me, of course, it's my job to hold the space in a considerate way. When we read for ourselves, we don't have anyone but ourselves to hold that space. So my seed for the whole year is the Four of Wands. Just making sure it's straight. That really resonates. I'm literally decluttering my lounge right now. I'm making a few plans for the garden. To me, the Four of Wands is very much about home and hearth, but it's also about celebration. And I am committed to being more social this year and to enjoying my home more. I'm grateful. I live in a beautiful part of the country and I'm going to enjoy it more. So I think this isn't just home. It's not just celebration. It's also that idea of a staycation and celebrating the wider area where I live. So that really resonates with me. Something to let go of. Oh, the Fool. An interesting one to let go of, really. I think the Fool is about new beginnings. And I'm really great at starting things, being a very wandsy person, and I have to now bring in the Ten of Wands. If you are a very wandsy person, if you're comfortable with the suit of wands, then perhaps like me, you are great at starting projects and then you realise that you've actually started far too many. You're in that whole Ten of Wands position. I've actually paused my in-person shamanic workshops for a little while just to buy myself a bit of time. This needs to be the year I don't start anything new, but I consolidate and celebrate what I already have. So the card to represent the root, what do I invest in? What do I spend more time in? So the King of Cups, I think that has to be my role as healer, therapist, tarot reader, mentor. I've been doing more mentoring recently. That tends to be other holistic professionals that are booking in with me, usually on a monthly package, and I am supporting them as a therapist, as a person, as a business owner, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I think that has to be something that I really root in and do more. I enjoy my client hours. If I stopped just starting lots of other new projects, then possibly I can even enjoy these more. Looking for card 4, what will grow this year? Now, that's an interesting one. The Nine of Wands, I would generally read as more of a negative card because I tend to associate it with hypervigilance and exhaustion. But actually it can be being very well prepared. It can be being in a secure situation because this is a sort of a blockade around him. And maybe this is the year, particularly linking the 4 and the 9 of Wands, that I feel secure. And maybe as I look at the Fool now, I see that as I have a bit of a flight trauma response. I always think I'm going to have to get up and, move quickly. And it's only a trauma response. It's not based on the real world. So maybe looking at these two in particular, this is the year that I just hunker down, focus on what I'm good at, and enjoy a year of stability. The card at the bottom of the pack, what do I need to know? So it's the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card I've been getting so much recently. To me, this is about harvesting things where I've already put in the hard work. So I'm blessed to have a really solid business based on both my shamanic and my tarot reading and mentoring. I've already got one book that's with the publishers now. I've got the bones of my next book done and dusted. I feel this is the year that I complete projects and stop having new starts, basically stop being attracted by there's so much I would like to do. I think this is the year that I am more considered and structured in what I do. And I'm going to journal on this. I'm going to take a photograph of the cards as they are, and I'm going to sit with it and journal it. I think when we read for ourselves, journaling is a really important process. And I think taking a photograph or leaving the spread out so you can come back to it several times, particularly as it's a small reading because obviously it's only 5 cards, but it's actually for the whole year. So I'm really going to enjoy sitting with this. If ever you've taken the time to sit with a reading and you've still got some questions, what I would say is put the cards back. And I'm glad that I've got this recording because I'll be able to go back and set the cards up and take a photograph of them. So I feel that the message is that I need to consolidate what I've already started in my business and make the most of the areas where I've already put investment in time in. But I'm going to ask the cards now, because to me reading tarot is like a conversation. So I'm going to ask the cards, am I on the right track with that? Is there anything the cards would like to tell me about how I'm reading the spread? Am I on point, or have I overlooked or missed something? And I will often do this in a professional reading. I will read the first in-depth spread, and then I will perhaps ask the question, what do I most need to know right now about the reading? And it will help me to see, am I looking at this from every angle I need to? Or is there something that I haven't fully understood that the cards want me to better understand? So we've got the King of Wands, the Magician, and Strength. I think this is definitely the year that I think consolidates on every level, actually. I think financially, I think from a health position, from a business position, focusing on what I have and making the most of it is definitely my focus for this year. This is a year to be kind to myself and to really sit with the idea that I am good enough, because I love the Strength card for me. When I look at the lion there, that represents the things that maybe we don't like about ourselves. And Strength is about being kind to ourselves and accepting we are good enough, even with the parts of ourselves we may not like. And the King of Wands, I mean, personally, I do associate that perhaps more with my shamanic work. But I also, when I look at the King of Wands, he's edging off the seat. I always think the King of Wands has stepped into this position because he has to. What he really wants to be is in the place of the Page of Wands. I think some suits the king, as it were, and some don't. Now, the card I most identify with in tarot is the Page of Wands. So maybe this is reminding me to make sure that I have enough time to do the playful work as well. Because you may have noticed with my YouTube videos, my blogs and such like, when I get busy with client work or creating my online courses, it's the more playful side of my work that drops. And I really see the YouTube as a place where I'm exploring tarot and sharing as I learn. Right, it's not something that I I don't have a plan in mind. It just kind of naturally, organically comes. So I think this is reminding me that I am a better tarot reader and shaman when I have the time to be playful, and that would then really resonate with my life, because I am already putting boundaries in my life this year to make sure that I have time to read, to go hiking, to play games. In fact, just last week I went to the cinema all by myself to see the latest Jason Statham movie for no other reason than I really wanted to. So the King of Wands, I think, is reminding me in my responsible roles in my life, which is both my business and my role as mother, take the time to be playful too. Stay ultra focused and work with what I've got, and be kind to myself. So I hope that's been helpful. I'm definitely going to journal on both the readings now. I think we should look at the card at the bottom of the pack. And to me, the Empress is about mothering ourselves, creativity, self-nurture. And I think the King of Wands is just reminding me that the positions of responsibility that I happen to have found myself in don't actually suit my psychology. I do need the time to be in the Page of Wands position or the Empress, and to be playful and have fun as well.